Hi everyone, Nikki Buckelew here at Buckelew Realty Group, and today we're going to talk about how to choose the best estate liquidator for your estate sale. So this is a question we get a lot, and it seems like when people who have downsized or who are thinking about downsizing are contemplating how they're going to empty their home, there are two primary sources of concern. One, who am I going to get to do it, and what does that look like? Like, how much work is that going to take me? Do I need to go through everything? What does the logistics of that look like? And then the second source of concern is, how much money is it going to cost me, or what fees and expenses can I expect from hiring somebody to do this? So those are the two big concerns. And so what I thought I'd do is just share with you about 5 things that you're going to want to think about when you're hiring an estate liquidator. And these may be different than the things that somebody might think about if they were maybe clearing out the estate of a deceased family member, and that person is no longer with us and they have a household full of things that they need to liquidate. That's a really different scenario than someone who has downsized and are dealing with what is left from that they chose not to move with them to their new place. So here are the 5 things. I jotted these down for you. So the first thing is timing. Timing is important because if you have moved, which we usually recommend you move first before you sell your house, then you have a house sitting there that has got things in it that you need to have cleared out. And timing is very important because the equity in your home is really your biggest asset, right? It's probably not the items in your house if you're the average human being. And so I recommend that you make sure that if you're interviewing estate liquidators, that you ask them what their time frame is going to be. Now, what we've found is that certain times of the year, the best estate liquidators and the ones who do it professionally for a living, they oftentimes can get backed up as far as a few months. And so they may have a waiting list of people and they have sales scheduled every week for a couple of months and may not be able to get to you for a while. So timing is really important. This is particularly true if you put your house on the market, because if you put your house on the market and it has a contract on it and that buyer wants to get into your house and live in it 30 days from now or 45 days from now, you can't get an estate liquidator set up for a few months. That creates a contractual problem for you. So timing is very important. Okay, number 2, the size of the sale. This is something a lot of people are surprised about, but estate liquidators often have a minimum size that they are looking for. And some of the more experienced estate liquidators are very particular about how big the sale is that they will take. So if it's a small sale, and small is a relative term, so I'm going to throw out some numbers there. Here in the Oklahoma City metro area, a small sale is going to be, say, $3,000 gross receipts to, say, $5,000 or $6,000 gross receipts. If you get above that, up to say $15,000 or $20,000, that might be a medium-sized sale, and then a large sale would be, say, $20,000, $25,000 and up. And most estate liquidators, if you have a $20,000 to $30,000 sale or more, it's probably something that they would be willing to do. I can't speak for them, but most of them would not turn that down. But when you get into those really smaller sales, they just may not be able to fit that into their schedule as quickly as they could a larger sale, if that makes sense. So it's going to be important that you ask them what size of sale they are most accustomed to doing, and if yours is a smaller one, just make sure that they don't bump you off the schedule for somebody else that may call them the next week with a larger sale. All right, the third thing is location. Where you live really does make a difference. Some people live in outlying areas, maybe outside the suburbs even, maybe a little bit rural. And so you may think, well, gosh, I want to have an estate sale, but typical estate liquidators may not want to take that on. Auctioneers might take on a sale if you have farm equipment or you have a barn and storage sheds that you need to clean out. But oftentimes, be sure to ask, because a lot of times auctioneers only want to do the household items if they also get to sell the property. So occasionally you'll see them say, yes, we'll do the household items, but we want to sell the property. And if you already have an agent chosen, or if you're working with us, then that may be a decision that you'll have to make. Okay, so location matters. The type of sale also matters. So when I say type of sale, there are traditional estate liquidators, people that when you think of an estate sale, this is what you think of. You walk through a house, the items are priced, they're laid out on a table with tablecloths, and you pick up the item, you go up and you either pay for it or you negotiate the price, and then that Sunday they mark everything down to about half, and you can go back and pick up the things that maybe haven't sold yet. That's a typical estate sale. And a lot of liquidators continue to do those, and that may be the only type of sale that they do. There are also those people that do, like I mentioned, auctions. And so these are your traditional auctioneers that may auction property or vehicles or implements, things like that, along with household items and real estate. And in that case, you know, an auctioneer is typically going to pre-market those items. They're going to market online, market in print marketing sometimes as well. And then they have a very specific date and time for that auction to take place. Now, the newest type of liquidations that a lot of people are just now beginning to hear about is online auctions that are like general estate sales, except for their items go online instead of people walking through the house. And instead of pricing those items, they actually start them at a low price point and people can bid on them for, say, up to a week. And then at the end of that week, the winning bidder is given the address of the property to come and during a specific window of time, pick those items up. They pay for them online. Everything is done electronically except for them coming and picking up their item from the estate liquidator at the property. So very interesting style. We've gotten really accustomed to this over the last several years, and we like it a lot because it solves the timing problem and it also solves the location problem. So if you're in an area that isn't a great location for an estate sale, it doesn't matter if it's online. And then of course, there are also hybrids of these. And so sometimes you'll see estate liquidators do some things online and some things in person, or they can sell privately, like if they might sell firearms or a vehicle or equipment to very specialized buyers out there that they have, and then do everything else the more traditional way that they're accustomed to doing it. Okay, and then the last thing, fees and expenses. If you're interviewing estate liquidators, what you're going to find is that percentage-wise, they all probably charge a fairly similar percentage in a local marketplace. So they're all going to be close. So let's say 30% to 50%, somewhere in that range. But what you have to look at is how do they charge other things? So do they charge an additional marketing fee or not? Do they charge a cleaning fee or not? Is there a fee for a dumpster or any waste disposal? And so it's not just the percentage that you want to take a look at. Also, are they charging a credit card fee? And who pays that? Do you pay that or do they pay that, or is it a shared expense? Are they charging a buyer premium? So when the buyer purchases something, are they paying a fee to the estate liquidator above and beyond the item? So those are just some of the things. Really, really important that you look at your contract with estate liquidators. Don't just sign it, read it, highlight it, ask questions so that you know what to expect in the end. You know, most of our clients here at Buckelew Realty Group, not all, but most are downsizing into a smaller space. And so we deal with estate liquidators maybe 50 times or so a year. And so we've gotten really good at asking questions, and we know what we're looking for in estate liquidators. But from time to time, our clients have their own, and they have their own preferences. And certainly we encourage them to use whoever they feel most comfortable with. But I will tell you, whether you choose somebody that we have recommended or you find somebody on your own, inevitably, I will tell you one commonality amongst almost everyone that we've ever dealt with, and this has been a lot of people. Very few people have ever been elated about how much they got from their estate sale. Some people are satisfied, some people may be pleasantly surprised, but the vast majority are disappointed because they expected more. We all think our stuff is worth more than it probably actually is. So if you take one thing away from this video, when you do an estate sale, whether you choose an auction or an online or a regular estate sale, just know that the equity in your home is probably your biggest asset, not your household goods. So focus on that, focus on timing, focus on getting the right person that you trust, that you think will communicate effectively with you, and then just let it go, because the market is it's gonna bring whatever it brings, and your stuff is gonna be worth whatever it is. And just take that check, hopefully there's a check at the end, and put it in the bank and move on. If you can do that, then you'll be a lot happier. I'm Nikki Buckelew. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, make it a great day.